and it says it's setting up. Let's see when it goes live over here. Okay, we should be live now.
All right, let's do it.
Yes, we are.
Prediction time.
Perfect. Perfect. So, what's up, guys? I'm here with Ryan Turner from Arm Wrestling Forums. How's it going, Ryan?
It's going great, man. We got a big card coming up this weekend. Super excited. I think objectively the best card we've ever had in arm wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that there's a way to argue that there's been a better card.
Yeah, I mean, it's what are we up to? 17 super matches with, I mean, legends, old and new. John, Ron Bath, yourself. I mean, don't miss this card, people. This Saturday, get it on Core Sports pay-per-view.
Yep, app.coresports.tv. That's the link. It's in the description. If you haven't bought it already, make sure you buy it. But today, Ryan, we're going to talk about some predictions. So we're going to go through the list of all the super matches as of now. Of course, it might change day of. You never know who might have travel issues or whatever else.
Yeah, well, we
Hopefully
just got
nothing,
a
knock on
twist, didn't
wood,
we,
but
with Evan?
we did just get a twist with Evan dropping out and getting replaced by Herman. So anything
Yeah.
can happen. We're just going to predict what we have as of now. So
Yeah, so at Arm Wrestling Forums, we have a prediction challenge right now, and that's we're getting chances answers for those. So we're gonna see who gets the most right and declare a winner, give away some swag on the forums. So this is gonna be chances entry, and entries are gonna close on Friday, and then we're gonna tally up who got the most right. So no pressure, chance, but
yeah, perfect. And,
yeah,
and guys, if you're not on Arm Wrestling Forums either, make sure you check that out. I have the link in my description. It's armwrestlingforums.com. That is where I keep the In the Hook rankings, and Ryan helps me keep that updated over there.
I appreciate it.
And you can talk to basically anyone in arm wrestling on that forums about any topic that you want to. There's plenty of discussion boards going on over there. Great stuff from Ryan. So thank you
Yeah,
for
cool
that.
place to hang out. Thank you, Chance.
Absolutely. So first match on the card.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. This is the list, the order that I have received last. Again, who knows if it changes or not? So don't get mad at me if order changes. But we're just going to go off of what we have. Anna Grondland versus Angie Rose. Who do you have?
Uh I gotta go with Angie on this. She's WL champion. I'm just worried about Anna's speed. I've seen Angie struggle with losing the go, and Anna's no slouch, doing well at Slotty, and she won IFA, right?
Yeah, she won IFA left and right, I believe.
Right. So yeah, not someone to sleep
2019.
on, but I'm just sticking with my girl Angie. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a really close match. I don't think it should be heavily favored either direction. Not that I'm the best with keeping up with women arm wrestling. I should be a little bit better on this, but I do know both of these athletes. I've talked to both of them multiple times. I've met Angie a few times over the years at different arm wrestling tournaments. I most recently saw her in March at the Kansas City Classic, where she went undefeated in a pretty stacked class. So I have to agree with you. I'm gonna go with Angie here, but I don't think it's gonna be easy. I'm gonna say 3-1, but
Okay, we're getting a call. All right, so we're gonna log it. We're gonna say Angie, and we'll even put in parentheses 3-1 finish. Final answer, Shaw.
Final answer. Lock me in.
Let's do it. All right, it's done.
All right.
Moving on. Next match.
Next match on the card, we have Jonathan Breida versus Zurab left-handed. I'm not going to say his last name because I'll just butcher it anyway.
Yeah, that's probably for the best. All right, so let's see what we got. So in the Hook rankings, which you're on the committee for, you have Breida ranked second left-handed at 220, and this is a left-handed match, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how about Breida's history? Can we go over who he's beaten?
Yeah, so Breida has a ton of wins under his belt. He's beaten basically everyone in his state. Guys like Herman Stevens, he's beaten. He beats guys like Doug Allen very recently, who Doug Allen has been a legend over the years. Doug Allen's the guy who broke Dave Chafee's arm back in the day. So Doug Allen, he's a beast to beat. He's beaten Jordan Sill, I believe, on multiple occasions. He's beaten, I believe, Pavlo Derbanyev, who is a absolute stud. And then he had a super match with Ron Bath where he ended up losing, but it was 3-2 all in wars. So
yeah, no shame in that.
Yeah, none
But
at
there
all.
is one problem, and it's that Zura is Georgian.
Yeah.
So kind of has an advantage off the bat. And also he won WAF 2019 at 85. So he's got that experience. I mean, this is going to be strict reffing, right? At his event. So he's familiar with that. I don't know how much experience Breida has with that WAF, very strict rules, but I don't know. I think it's a good match. Who do you got?
I'm going to be a little biased here, right? Zurab should be the favorite. He is more used to the rule set. Obviously, he's a WAF champion. We're going to be using WAF rules and referees. So Zurab has more experience and he has the bigger wins.
Right.
But Jonathan Breida is no joke, and I think he has a lot to prove coming into this match.
Right.
So although I'm not sure how accurate it'll be, in a small amount of bias, I am going to take Jonathan Breida winning here. And I'm going to say 3-2 over Zurab.
Breida.
I see 5 hook battles. I know
Jonathan.
I know Jonathan doesn't go into the match. He's not going into the match thinking I want to hook 5 times. Like no one wants to do that damage to their elbow. But I think it's going to end up getting put there. And I'm going to be really interested to see if Zurab is the powerhouse that the Georgians are and is able to pull through him. I don't think he's going to be able to do it easily. It's going to be war.
Yeah, well, we could see a surprise. I mean, last East versus West, I don't think anyone saw Zoliev top rolling Hutchings, but these events are full of surprises. But you got Breida 3-2 inside. Is that fair?
Yes.
Done.
Maybe one match Breida is able to top roll, but I think after that it's going to be a fatigued pronator.
Done. All right, we got 2 log. You have Angie and Breida. Let's move on to next. Who's next in the order for Angen's event?
So the next person would be Ron Bath versus F.A. Comac. This is another left-handed match.
Sweet. F.A. is got a lot of momentum behind him after that last East versus West event.
Absolutely.
He's kind of, is it fair to say he's Engen's, prodigy student, right?
Absolutely.
They train together.
They do train together. Engen is, of course, one of the greatest arm wrestlers of all time. He has a lot of information. He has a wealth of knowledge, and he's training a student who's taking it very, very seriously. So FA is improving quickly. I think he only has 3 years in the sport, something like that. Yeah. And obviously he was able to beat Herman Stevens, both arms. FA is originally who was supposed to pull right-handed, and then he unfortunately got injured to Sandris. We'll touch more on Sandris in a bit, but FA is doing really well really quickly, especially on the left hand, where this year at WAF he was able to take 3rd place.
That's right.
In a very stacked class.
Right, and only 3 years into the sport, so keep an eye out for him. Interestingly, Sanders did beat him though, so he is human.
Yes.
But then on the other side of the table, you have Ron Bath. I mean, one of the most OG legends of the sport. Had wars with John. I mean, anyone in the sport. So
in my opinion, when we talk about Ron Bath is the 2nd greatest North American ever, and he's only behind the greatest arm wrestler of all time. So Ron is an absolute legend. He's had great success both arms. He's one of the top rated North Americans still today at 59 years old. He's still a top rated North American, both left and right. So as we just talked about a little bit, Ron did beat Breida left-handed in their semi-recent super match. I think it was about a year ago now.
Right. And in the hook, he's 3rd at the 242s, which is a competitive class. So super impressive that he can still stay in top 3 in the rankings. So perfect opportunity for an East versus West match. You got an up-and-comer from Turkey versus an OG from North America. And let's hear it. Chance, who you got?
I love these matches that is like up-and-coming guy versus legend. These are my favorite match. This is the match. That's the type of match I picked for myself. So it's really cool to see.
Sure is.
I think Ron Bath should be the favorite here coming
with experience.
But
we got a but.
I think that FA is going to be a bit more comfortable with the rule set. And I don't know if Ron has had enough time since he got injured back in May. A lot of people don't know he had a super match in May in Nevada against an Armenian champion. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but Ron got a little bit of injury in his pec. So being 59, 58, 59 at the time,
yeah,
it might be a little bit hard to recover from that. It's the reason that Ron and I super match got canceled in June.
right.
So I'm going to say FA has the speed. He is most comfortable with the WF rules. Not that Ron hasn't done it in the past, but it's been a little bit for him. And I'm not sure of Ron's help. So I'm going to go FA 3-1.
All right, that is your first East pick of the card. FA was 3-1.
I will be rooting for Ron. I will be rooting for all Western pullers.
Yeah, we should put a disclaimer in here. We're trying to be objective in the predictions here. This is not who you want to win or anything like that. No hurt feelings. We're just trying to make the best call we can here with the information we got. So it's FA. You said 3-1.
3-1.
3-1. Locked. Next
match. It's the best match on the card, of course. Me and Sanders.
Oh man, let's go. This is gonna be fun. Okay, I don't even know if you should be able to answer this one, but
I win 3-0 next.
Okay,
no, I'm just
shocker.
Kidding.
All right,
no, I'm just kidding.
Well,
but
let's get into it. Let's see what we got.
I'd like you to touch on this a little bit. Maybe you'll have a less biased opinion than the guy who thinks he's gonna win himself, right?
Okay, all right. So the problem with Sanders is he can go anywhere. Yeah. He's got a nasty press. He's got a nasty hook. And he's got a top roll. And he had all on display in his recent win against Lee Weber at Arm Wars. Mm-hmm. So he's coming off a win. He's got momentum. And, I mean, let's see, what did he do? I'm trying to pull up something
He won Zloty in 2018. And then he pulled the open category class in 2018 as well. And he took second to Prudnick.
Right. And he
won Europeans.
WAF though, right?
Yeah, so he won Europeans this year, and then he took third place this year, right-handed and second left-handed. But the match is right-handed, of course.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, Zloty, WAF, the dude's been at the most intense competitions that arm wrestling has to offer. But then we have Chance. So, trying to think, can we connect any dots here between people you both have pulled?
So the only connection is Zoliev. So Zoliev is the Lithuanian champion. Zoliev is able to hook Sanders, and they had 2 wars. They had a minute match, and then one of them elbow fouled. I don't remember who. They reset. They had another 30-second grinder, and then Zoliev ended up getting the win. Now I have never pulled Zoliev, but my training partner has pulled Zoliev. And he has actually beaten Zoliev. So I know.
And how do you do with your training partner?
He's my
your training partner has beaten Zoliev. Zoliev has beaten Sanders. So how do you do against?
I will just say partner? I will not lose a single match to him.
Okay, so I mean there are 2 degrees of separate. Yeah, right. So there is 2 degrees of separation, but that's probably the best data we have on this. So
it's the closest we're gonna get until we pull in 2.5 days.
Right. But what's interesting is on stakings, it's shutout, right? You only have to win 1 round to win the staking.
Yes.
Obviously you want to win the whole match, but
I want to win the whole match. I'm going into 3-0 Sanders, but the thing is, my number 1 priority is to make my backers money.
Yeah.
People that are believing, I need to make the money, right? They're believing in me, they're supporting me. I'm going to make the money. So there's no way that I'm getting 3-0'd. It's just not going to happen. I will go in an arm break position and let my arm snap before I let myself lose 3-0. So
we're to hear first, folks. Chance is a good guy to put your money on. What's the situation now with the staking? Is it done? Are both blocks? I know you've been filling up blocks left and right every time you post about it on Facebook.
My blocks sell out in 30 minutes, and I have people waiting to buy my next block. Sanders has about $75-$80 available. So if you believe Sanders is going to beat me, please buy the rest of his block so I can open another one and sell it so I can make some more people some more money. Sorry, you'll lose money, but you should have believed in me.
God, the confidence. Okay, I guess I don't really need to ask who you think is going to take this one. But can you give your honest prediction of what you think the final score will be?
3-0.
Really? Okay, I see. I don't think that's possible. I think he will. Like I said, he has a hook, he has a top roll, he has a press.
He can pull everywhere.
He's going to catch you. Yeah, he's going to catch you off guard somewhere. I bet he gets 1 round.
He's too weak.
He's too weak. Oh, Sanders.
He hasn't felt this power before.
Okay. I mean, yeah, to be fair, you are coming in probably the best shape you've ever been in. Is that fair to say?
Not probably. Easily the best shape I've been in. the biggest,
exciting.
strongest, most conditioned, most prepped I have ever been. And I've done a lot of studying. And, I'm not, all jokes aside, I'm not taking Sanders lightly by any means. I know he's very dangerous and many different spots. He has a great press, he has a great top roll, he has a great hook. And the other scary thing is he can transition really well. So he can hit out and back in and back out flawlessly. So he's definitely a dangerous opponent. I am just going to be too big and too strong, and I don't think that he's going to be able to beat my ace move. Do I have a backup move if he does? Of course I do, but I don't think that I will need to use that.
Can we talk about that, or is that under wraps?
No, of course not.
Okay, all right. We got a secret backup move here, and also you've been training hard in Sweden. If people aren't aware, you've kind of doing a whole training camp out there for a couple months.
So I moved out to Sweden. This is week 4. So tomorrow will be 4 weeks that I've been in Sweden running my training camp. Emil Ekstrom, he's keeping me super focused. He's who I live with. He's my training partner. If anyone wanted to look up Emil Ekstrom versus Zoliev, it's on YouTube, so you can watch it, and then you can watch Sanders pull Zoliev and gather your own information there. But so I've been training for a month with Emil in Sweden, staying super focused. Before that, I was still focused, not quite as focused. And then the time I've been in Sweden, I've also been running Brandon Allen's strength training program.
Nice.
I don't think you can necessarily make huge strength gains in a month. It takes a little bit more time than that, but I'm keeping my muscles conditioned and healthy and ready to fire. So
yeah, I mean, if there's a dude who knows strength, it's Brandon Allen. So yeah.
And he's a world champion. So
exactly.
I think Sanders is 115 kilos. He said yesterday. I'm coming in at 140, 141. So I have a nice little gap on him.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, both super heavyweights. It's going to be a good match. All right. We got it locked. Just to catch everyone up here, your choices so far are Angie 3-1, Breida 3-2, FA 3-1, and yourself 3-0.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the next one. We got a lot to get through here.
Yeah. Next match. You have Artem Morozov versus Tobias Sprung left-handed. This was originally supposed to be Artem Morozov versus Cody Merritt.
Yep.
On the left hand. Cody had a broken forearm. He, I guess, had screws in his forearm that were coming loose and causing him pain. So he has to go get surgery to fix that. So he had to pull out of the match with
devastating, man. I don't know if you watched his video announcing that, but you could just hear it in his voice. That was just devastating. He was so ready to really make a statement on the world stage. Not that he hasn't before. He's won WAF, but man, he wanted this match. So it's too bad, but that's not the last we're going to see of him. He'll heal up. He'll be back.
No, if I'm not mistaken, he's still supposed to pull Ryan Espy at some point this year on the left hand. So at least we'll get to see if he's truly the number one guy in North America. But I know he was really looking forward to pulling Artem, to showing where he's at on a world level. Yeah. But the great news is we have a fantastic replacement in Tobias Sprung.
Right.
So Tobias has been making really quick gains and getting really good really quick.
Right.
Tobias and Artem pulled, I believe it was in 2018 in WAF, where Artem did beat Tobias.
Right.
Since then, Tobias took second at Zloty Tur left-handed to he took he took second. That's right. He took second to Dmitry Zoliev, and then he didn't pull in the open category. So we're seeing someone who's young. I think he's 23 years old, the same age as myself. He's motivated, and he's progressing quickly. On the flip side, we have Artem Morozov, who is ranked top 15 in the world, both arms, I believe.
Yeah, he's 5th on left, believe it or not. He's
5th in the world left-handed.
5th. So, in a competitive category. He's what is he on the right? I think he's 10th in the right and 5th on the left, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Is that the most?
Checking.
Oh, I guess Levon. Outside of Levon, is that the most impressive right and left-handed arm wrestler? It might be. No, you got Devin.
You have Devin, and then you have Krasimir. Krasimir's 4th left and 7th right.
Okay.
Other than those,
he's
the 3rd left and right combo guy, which is
that's hard to do.
Truly impressive.
Yeah. So like you said, Tobias is young, but he's got.
And I did want to say, I think Artem Morozov is like 24, so he is also extremely young.
Jesus. Yeah. How old is Tobias again?
23, I believe. Don't
23.
quote me.
Okay.
I might be off a year or something, but
Right.
these are two absolute studs.
Right.
Young dudes coming up, just crushing everybody.
Right. I know Tobias did WAF in the youth category in 2018. So yeah, I guess that would make sense. It's 23.
Yep.
He got fourth. So yeah, and he did get beat by Kurdecha, right, in the transition match for top 8.
He did,
but it wasn't a stomping, and we know
wasn't.
how Kurdecha. Yeah, and
And
Kurdecha, we know how strong he is.
If you watch the match, it looked very similar to when Kurdecha pulled Hermes.
Yeah,
I'm not claiming that Tobias can beat Hermes, but they did just about as good, which is really impressive because Kurdecha looks like he could be a threat to the number 1 spot in the world soon.
Yeah, isn't that crazy, man? He's just this year. This has been the best year ever for Kurdecha, right? No one was really talking about him. He didn't do great in the first top 8, and then he just blew up. And now people are talking about him potentially being number 1 in the world in a few years.
Yeah,
so.
it's crazy the amount of progression that you can make in 2 years when you're hungry and motivated.
Yeah. Also, you're like 6'8" and a Viking. Don't forget.
Yeah, of course that helps. He's genetically gifted. But let's not get too far into Alex Kurdecha. Back to Tobias Sprung versus Artem Morozov.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you have? Let's hear your pick.
I mean, I just have to go with Morozov, 5th in the world left-handed. Like, it's just that simple for me. He got there for a reason. I think Tobias has to prove that he's there, and Morozov already has. So that's what I'm going with, but I think it's Morozov's match to lose.
I agree. I think Morozov should be the heavy favorite here. I think I wouldn't argue with anyone that picked Morozov 3-0 or 3-1 or something like that. I think especially since the match with Zoliev on the left-handed left hand in 2019 Zloty Tur with Tobias, I think Tobias is really hungry and he really wants to prove that he deserves a top ranked spot. I'm not saying that Artem isn't equally as hungry, but I'm just really interested to see what Tobias is able to do. I know here in Sweden, Tobias is levels ahead of anyone else in the entire country. So I know how good he is.
Yeah, that can hurt you though if you don't have someone who's anywhere near your level to practice with,
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's the case. Other times who does Levon practice with? Like
fair.
Irakli. I'm not saying Irakli's not a
and Gennady,
but anyways, I'm thinking I'm gonna go with Tobias here 3-2.
Really?
Yeah.
That is super interesting. So on the forums, you might be one of 2 people who've picked Tobias.
And listen, I wouldn't put money on it. I'm not that confident in it. Sure. Maybe it's because I'm rooting for him. Maybe because it's the Swedish blood rubbing off on me while I'm here. Breathing the Swedish air just tells me to go Tobias. I don't know, but I don't think that either of these guys are slouches. I think these might be the 2 best left-handed pullers at the whole event. So, it's hard to say who's going to win. Again, Morozov should be the favorite, but I'm gonna stay Tobias.
All right, it's a bold call, but we locked it in. Tobias 3-2, done. Let's get to the next one.
Okay, we have Fia Ricek versus Rebecca.
Nice.
Martin something. Sorry, again. With the names.
Yep, C's and V's and K's. So let's see what we got. We got Fia has won right-handed 70 kilogram WAF in 2021. Obviously trains in Sweden. Have you seen her since your time over there?
I haven't got to pull with Fia yet. I should be into February, I believe. If all my plans go accordingly. Right.
And then Rebecca is also a WAF champion at the 65 kilograms, so 5 kilograms less. And she was 3rd in the 2019 80 kilograms. So it seems like she dropped weight and is doing quite well at 65 kilogram. But yeah, we got 2 champions going at each other, 5 kilograms apart. What are your thoughts on this match?
This match is a really tough match for me to pick. It's only a 5 kilo difference. Sometimes the lighter puller is the better puller. Sometimes a 65 kilo puller might be able to step up to 70 and still win the class. Yeah, I'm not 100%. Saying that it happens often, but sometimes this is the case. And I don't follow women's arm wrestling close enough to know how deep of a class the 70 versus the 65 is. Rebecca, like you said, she's pulled heavier weight classes in the past. So she has experience being a little heavier, pulling
Mhm.
a little heavier opponents. She's not going to be overwhelmed, I don't think, by Fia's size or strength. So I think it's a really close match. I think you could flip a coin and pick heads or tails either athlete, and you
Yeah.
might be right.
Yeah, I just think the culture in Sweden around arm wrestling is so strong that I think that slightly biases me towards Fia's favor. Um, but what do you think? What's your call here?
Yeah, as far as the culture in Sweden around women's arm wrestling, it's kind of crazy. I was educated a little bit about Heidi Anderson, who was the
Oh yeah.
first like true world level female arm wrestler, and I guess she went on tour all across Sweden, like giving away tables and like teaching kids how to arm wrestle and stuff. And that's a really big influence to why there's so many women arm wrestlers in
Oh,
Sweden.
how cool is that?
So
Yeah.
per capita, I think Sweden probably has to be the strongest uh, for women's arm wrestling. Like
Yeah.
they have to. You have so many beasts out here. Again, maybe I'm just breathing in the Swedish air and I'm biased, but I'm going to take Fia here. But I really think that this match could go either direction. I'm going to
Okay.
take Fia 3-2.
All right.
And
Blink
what about
twice
you?
if the entire Swedish arm wrestling team is standing behind off camera holding a gun at you or
No,
something.
no, 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 no.
All right. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think Fia's got this. What'd you say? 3-2 was the prediction?
Yeah, 3-2.
Oh,
Just because I mean it could be 3-0, it could be 3-1. I have no idea.
Okay. But you think it'll be decisive in Fia's favor?
I think so.
Fair enough, man. I think that's reasonable. All right, moving on. What is next on the card
yeah,
here?
we have Yusuf versus Oleg. This is again, I believe, 65 and 70 kilo WAF champions.
Yeah.
At it. Is that correct?
This card is absurd, man. How many WAF champions? It's like, it's unbelievable. It's such a ridiculous card. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, you're right. 2 WAF champions, again, 5 kilograms apart. So this is kind of like the counter match to Fia. Because it's 65 and 70 again.
So is Yusuf 65, Oleg 70, or is it vice versa, I believe?
So I think it's Oleg won 70 in 2019 and 2020, and Yusuf is 65.
2021.
So Oleg won 2019, 2021, 70 kilogram, and Yusuf won 2019, 2021, 65 kilograms. So they're actually both back-to-back WAF champions, just 5 kilograms apart. And Oleg got 5th in 2018 at 65. So Oleg jumped up 5 kilos and then won back-to-back in the 70s. And I wonder if that was to avoid Yusuf.
Yeah,
I don't want to start any conspiracy theories, but
it's really interesting. You could definitely think that that's the case, but
yeah,
3 years, or I guess we're coming up on 4 years since he's pulled against the 70 kilo guys. It's really hard to know how much someone could get better or worse in such a long time span. So you have just too much data that we don't have because they haven't pulled in such a long time.
Right.
I'm not great with following the lighter categories, the 65 to 70. Those categories, I'm just not as familiar as I'd like to be when it comes to the WAF champion. So again, this is going to be a same thing where I'm not too sure which is the harder class. But because we have Oleg, that he took 5th and then dropped kilos, and now he's placing better. I'm gonna have to go with Yusuf being the heavier opponent and proving at least that he can still hang with the same guys and he didn't have to drop a class.
So I already filled out my card and posted it on the forums, but I had the exact same answer for the exact same reason. Barring some other information, I think that's the best bet you can go with. So you had Yusuf, final answer?
Yeah, Yusuf, final answer. I'm going to say 3-1. That's kind of just off the top of my head. Of course, I researched every puller and I read about every single athlete on the card when I could, but reading about them, watching matches, sometimes it's not enough information. I would have liked to pull every single person on here so I could give the best information, but unfortunately that's just not the reality. So I have to go 3-1 on that.
Fair enough. Yeah, I did the same thing. I mean, it's such a huge card. I literally have notes on each match because it's just it's crazy. This card is absurd. All right, locked in. 2 WAF champions going with Yusuf. All right, next up. So
next up is Grondland versus Zurab on the right side.
Right side.
Yes.
Okay. Zurab, second right-handed 2019 WAF.
At 85 kilos.
85 kilos. Yep. And that is a lot lighter than Ron, right? Ron's usually
Ron about
110.
110.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
Yeah. So Ron's 110, 115, and that range of weight. I believe we have him ranked second on the In the Hook rankings in North America, just behind Marcio.
Yeah.
How can you not say that Ron is the favorite here? I know I picked FA against him on the left hand. FA's a 110 puller. So FA is pulling the same category that Ron does. When you have someone coming up giving so much weight and pulling an opponent like Ron Bath, it's tough. It's really tough to pick. Unless you're a freak like Oleg Jacques who has some massive arm or something, I think that you're going to struggle pulling someone so heavy. Again, maybe I'm a little biased here. That being said, I hope that Ron is fully recovered and doesn't have any injuries going on, because that same match in May that he was a little injured left, he was a little injured right as well. So
he's been dealing with a few injuries. He got injured at WAL. I remember he had to stop pulling mid-match. But have you heard anything? Is he going to be okay for this? I mean, he must be, right? He's coming up.
I'm pretty sure I asked him, or I read it somewhere. Someone else asked him. He says he's in form. We saw him pulling with Michael Todd. Michael Todd was beating him, but Ron looked healthy. Ron didn't look like he was dealing with any injuries. This is on the right side. So I'm going to go Ron here, and I'm going to go 3-0.
Yeah, I think pretty much everyone had that. So
that being said, I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park for Ron, and I won't be that shocked if Zurab can pull it off.
It's a huge opportunity for Zurab, huh? Just take down one of the best. So we have Ron.
Well, I think he's pulling a little up and right-handed, and he's pulling a little down left-handed in Jonathan Breida. Not saying Jonathan Breida is not a formidable opponent. I picked him to win, but as far as accomplishments go, Jonathan Breida is pulling down and pulling Ron Bath is pulling up, as far as I'm concerned.
No, I think that's fair. All right, so we have Ron. What was the call? 3-0? Is it 3-0?
3-0.
3-0. All right, solid. Done. Locked in. All right, we got let's catch up here. We have Angie, Breida, FA, Chance, Tobias, Fia, Yusuf, Ron.
Yes, those are my calls so far.
Chugging along. All right, let's see who's next on Engen's list here. Schoolboy and not Evan.
Evan Burgoyne, unfortunately. If you guys don't know by now, Evan Burgoyne tested positive for COVID when he went to fly, so he's not able to make it. But luckily, we have Herman Stevens coming in to save the day. And Herman just landed in Turkey not too long ago. So
he's just like ready and waiting. That took no time. It was like less than 24 hours between Evan canceling and I see a poster up with Herman.
I think Herman loves Engen and they have a great relationship. And he was at the last one. So if I was Engen, that'd be the first person I'd call. And Herman happened to be available. And so it filled in really, really well.
And I'm sure he's hungry after the last East vs. West.
Yes.
He probably wants a win
here. He is hungry, but I'm worried maybe he didn't have enough prep time, because coming into the match, I mean, he got called and then he's flying basically the next day. It's not like he had any time at all to prepare for any opponent. And he's facing quite a big opponent in Schoolboy.
Yeah, quite literally and metaphorically a big opponent. Do you have any updates on whether he's training? I know he was dealing with some huge issues with housing down where he lives. The storms took out his houses, so he had to take a break from arm wrestling. Because we know when he's in form, I mean, he can bang with Todd Hutchings, right? Yeah. So, but then he kind of life got in the way and he fell off a bit. I think that's the Herman we saw perhaps at East vs. West 1. Is he back on the horse now? Is he training regularly? Do you have any insight there?
He was on an interview. I can't remember whose channel it was. Maybe it was Engen's channel that I was watching. Okay. And he said that he is not in peak form, but he's not in couch form either. He's been training, but he hasn't been training extremely serious. So we're going to get to see a good version of Herman, but not a great version of Herman.
Right.
But Herman is someone who's really good at pulling against any kind of style. He's a very technical, aggressive, fast arm wrestler. He's very comfortable in WAF style rules. And I'm not sure if you know or not, but Herman actually has multiple wins against Wayne Withers.
Really? I actually did not know that.
Yeah, so Herman has beat Wayne Withers, and Wayne Withers is 6'8" top roller. So
yeah,
he's used to pulling the bigger super heavyweights,
right.
long arm top rollers. So I don't think Herman is going to come into this shocked. I don't think he's going to be shocked by Schoolboy's size or put in a weird situation because Schoolboy's lever or something like that. I think it's only going to come down to what form Herman is in and how strong is Schoolboy. Because with Schoolboy on the flip side, we know he won WAF this last year in the
Youth,
junior category.
Right? Juniors, yeah.
Yep. That was on the right, I think. And then he took third on the left, maybe.
That's correct.
Okay. So we know that he's very, very competitive. They weren't extremely easy matches, but he did dominate, I would say, on the right hand WAF juniors. But junior category and senior category, in most cases, especially in super heavyweight, there's a big gap, right? You wouldn't say Schoolboy and Arif are close because they won. I understand sometimes in the lighter weight categories where you had the youngest Zoliev, I can't remember his first name, but he won. Alan Zoliev. He won his class and he won senior class.
So he's a Zoliev, so that's a given.
So there's always exceptions, but especially when it comes to super heavyweight, I think that there's a bit of a difference. We've seen Schoolboy beating the general public pullers, arm wrestling in New York. We also saw him beat Larry Wheels. We haven't seen enough high level matches. We've seen practices. So it's impossible to gauge, is Schoolboy here or here or here?
Yeah, it's tough because Larry's progressing so fast. We don't know where he was when he pulled Schoolboy. So you can't read too much into that match. I've pulled Schoolboy left-handed, but that was a couple years ago, and he's also like 21 now or 20.
He's 21, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting bigger and stronger all the time. So yeah, this is kind of feels like a coin flip to me. I don't really know where Herman's at, and Schoolboy don't really know where he's at because he's progressing so damn fast and getting so big. He was like 270 pounds at the King of the Table event.
Yep.
Was he in supers for juniors?
Yes. Yeah.
He was. Okay. Juniors, yep. Do we know his weight there? Like, does he now sit at 270 year round?
I believe so. I'm not the best person to answer that question, but I believe it's like 270, 280, somewhere in that ballpark.
Okay. So yeah, we got a big Schoolboy versus Herman. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think this is just a coin flip. What do you think?
Yeah. I think, and if you ask me this question in 5 years, I think it's going to be a silly question. I think Schoolboy will be the clear favorite at that point in time. But right now,
that's interesting.
It's just too hard. It's too hard to make the call. I'm going to take experience on this one. I'm going to say Herman, but I will not be surprised even if Schoolboy walks through Herman 3-0. But I just have to take the experience when I don't know too much about Schoolboy's junior competitors. And I don't know, or youth, or is it youth or junior?
I think it's
youth, right?
Youth, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know too much about his youth competitors, and beating Larry Wheels to me doesn't tell me enough information to know.
Right. Yeah, but you're going with Herman?
I'm going to go with Herman. Like I said, I think in a few years, it'll be a dumb question. I think Schoolboy will easily be the favorite. But as of now, I'm taking Herman. But again, I'm not going to be surprised either way.
Sure. Yeah, for anyone who's filling out one of these brackets on the forums, if you don't know, just guess, because it's going to be whoever gets the most right, period. Not the most percent right. So just fill out every card, answer however you want.
And
so just for fun,
if you're just jumping in and watching Arm Wrestling forums, Ryan Turner runs Arm Wrestling forums over there. He has a competition. Fill out your form to see predict who's going to win every single match, and the winner gets a prize, I believe, right, Ryan?
Yeah. So we're giving away some swag to whoever gets the most right, and you'll get a special user title to flex on everyone and let them know that you're the best at predicting. So armwrestlingforums.com, and go to the general discussion section, and you'll see the rules and everything for the event. You basically just copy paste the card and just fill in who you think is going to win each one.
Right.
And then we're going to see who gets the most right.
It's free form. You just sign up real quick. It takes you 2 minutes. You sign up, you have an account, and you can just go from there.
Yeah, free. Just trying to create an online community to hang out and talk arm wrestling. So check it out. Can we get a prediction on the final 3-0, 3-1? What are you thinking for final score for Herman and Schoolboy?
I'll take 3-0.
Yeah, just because.
I think it could go 3-0 either way, 3-2 either way, 3-1 either way. I don't know, but I'm going to take 3-0 Herman.
Yeah, well, done. Next up, what do we got?
Okay, we have Morozov on the right hand versus Prudnick.
Oh man, what an
which
interesting match.
is one of, in my opinion, he is one of the greatest arm wrestlers in recent time. He's extremely versatile. He competes typically, I believe his competition weight was 100 kilos or 110 kilos back in his WAF days. And he's been competitive with super heavyweights for a long time now. Obviously, we saw him in top 8 do really well.
Yep.
For some reason, he's not on the world arm wrestling rankings. I don't know why.
Yeah, what is going on? Must have been
overlooked. In my opinion, because he still has to be one of the top 10 guys somewhere in there. Like I would still have him over Tim Breslin and Derek Smith, and they're, I think, 13, 14 or 14.
Right.
Yeah, 13, 14. He's somewhere in there.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I think Prudnick is moving to LA, if I heard correctly, for
really?
So I don't know if you saw, but he was on that Ukraine's Got Talent show. Yes. Apparently he got headhunted by some talent agency in LA. And this is not confirmed, but I know Devin and a few other people were talking about it, that he's going to be moving to LA for a singing gig. And that's going to be close enough to Derek. So maybe we can get something going there.
Derek is like an hour from LA. Like that's super. Yeah. Like if I have Prudnick and an hour from me, I'm driving to him. Like
that's worth the drive for sure. Him versus Ungarbayev was one of my favorite matches of all time. He showed his technical range beautifully after losing the first round, and then just dominated from there on. So I agree, Prudnick is one of the most exciting pullers in the game right now, and looks humongous. He's posted some vids on his Instagram, and Jesus Christ, dude, he looks ridiculous. So
yeah,
he's going to be coming in form.
He's been posting on TikTok too. I follow him on TikTok. If anyone wants to follow him on TikTok, he only has like 200 followers. I'm like, dude, this is Prudnick. What are you doing?
Yeah, people don't know, I guess.
But he's been posting a lot over there, and yeah, I agree. He looks absolutely massive.
So does Morozov, though. I mean,
I think he's still going to be smaller than Morozov. You know, Morozov is a true super heavyweight. He has the frame, the hands, everything. But this is not new for Prudnick to compete against the super heavyweights.
Right. Yeah. It's just. So Morozov is 10th right-handed on the world rankings for Export News. But I still think Prudnick's the favorite. Am I crazy?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree that Prudnick is the favorite.
Yeah. I just think he has more experience, explosive, strong, and has dealt with supers.
Yeah, I really, really enjoy watching Prudnick arm wrestle. I'm a huge fan of Prudnick. That being said, I'm always going to be rooting for the younger guy to take the older guy out. Like I love seeing new generation of arm wrestling. Maybe that's because I hope to be one of those guys, but I love seeing the new generation of arm wrestling take over the old generation so we can start to see some new faces. So I'm rooting for Morozov, even though I love Prudnick, but I'm gonna pick Prudnick 3-1 here.
Fair. Yeah, I think that's perfectly reasonable. Prudnick 3-1. Done. Prudnick in the books.
Okay. So the next match we have is Todd Hutchings versus Jordan Sonev.
Hutchings. He's got some making up to do after that last East vs. West event.
He does.
Oh, this will be interesting. So Todd's on a tear right now. So he's got all the momentum in the world. He's taken out Lachlan. He took out Corey West, and I think he has a couple more on the books.
Yeah, I'm pulling him in April.
Geez, this guy is pulling everyone. Love to see it. He's a fun guy to watch.
He is.
What are your initial thoughts on this match?
My initial thoughts is it's hard for anyone Todd Hutchings' size to beat him in a hook. I don't know if it's possible. Yeah. That being said, Jordan Sonev might be the guy if there was a guy to do it. Jordan and Sasha are kind of the two where I would think, okay, this is interesting. Inside pulling. Obviously, we saw he's vulnerable to a top roll, but I don't think that it's going to go there. I don't think either puller is going to try that.
Yeah.
Jordan is, in my opinion, the more technical hook puller.
Fair.
When we see them pulling, Jordan is going to be using his entire body, pressing a lot of pressure onto Todd Hutchings' bicep, and I think we're going to see Todd Hutchings a little bit more outside of his shoulder, because traditionally that's how both of them arm wrestle.
Right.
So because style-wise, Jordan is going to be able to use more muscle groups, I think it's going to be closer than people think. A lot of people have Todd Hutchings easy all day.
Yeah. So they were just on a podcast together on Engen's channel, and I tuned in for a bit, and Todd said essentially that he was the favorite. He thinks he's the favorite, and Zoliev didn't correct him. So I think it's fair to say Hutchings, this is Hutchings' match to lose. But Zoliev said he's coming in great shape. He's coming in to win it. He's giving 100%. He's the 2021 WAF 100 kilogram left, I think, actually.
Yeah,
I can't remember, but he won the European Arm Wrestling Championship right-handed. Like you mentioned, trains with Sasho, and sometimes at least, and
sometimes with Krasny, I'd imagine as well.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, great training partners. Monster has experience in a strict setting with WAF experience, but it's Todd Hutchings. I think he's the strongest pound for pound arm wrestler in the world inside. Yeah. Maybe Sasha. I don't know. But either way, it's Todd Hutchings. It's hard to bet against him. But
yeah, so that was originally supposed to be the match, was Todd and Sasha. For whatever reason, Sasha had to cancel.
Yeah.
We both mentioned him. In the match with Todd and Jordan, I'm taking Todd 3-0.
3-0.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it'll be 3-0, but I think it'll be 3 long matches. I don't see this being flash pins by either athlete. I will be shocked if either Todd or Jordan flash pins the other puller. I'm not going to be that shocked if Jordan's able to pull off a win or two, but I really don't think he'll be able to pull off 3. Todd Hutchings has been on a tear. But we'll get to find out. And what was your prediction there?
Hutchings as well. I think it's going to be a shutout. Just looking at Hutchings versus Lachlan, I mean, Hutchings just looked like he was in ridiculous shape. I've never seen him that fit, and this match is close enough to where I don't think he's lost any of that fitness. So
it looks like he's gained it. I don't know if you saw, he posted a practice. It is practice, but he posted a practice video with Dave Chafee a month ago, and Dave was running through him.
Yeah.
And then he posted a practice video like a week and a half ago, and he was like 50-50 with Dave in a hook.
So I did. Incredible. Yeah. I talked to another member of that practice who said Dave was coming in not rested there, though. So slight asterisk there. Either way. I mean, super
it's
impressive.
Practice, so there's always an asterisk. But if you are able to pin any form of Dave Chafee in a hook, like that tells us a lot of information.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think he may even got more pins. Yeah, it was funny in the first one, Hutchings, they had like that money meter at the bottom every time Chafee pinned him. I think Chafee pinned him like 20 times in a row. Yeah. And then it like totally flipped, and I felt like Todd had the advantage in their latest training video. Yeah. So yeah, Todd looks great. I think this is his match to lose. I had him 3-0 as well. So locked in. Hutchings 3-0, but you think it could be a war? She's not going to walk through him.
I don't think so. I'll be extremely impressed because Lachlan was able to hold him up at least a couple rounds, and I think Jordan has to be understandably has to be a better athlete than Lachlan. Not saying Lachlan doesn't have potential or talking down on him by any means. Of course, he's fantastic, but we're talking about a world champion. Yeah, or European this last time.
Sweet. All right, locked in. We got it.
The next match I'm really excited for because I have not seen Oleg Zoc since 2016 in WAF. So I'm excited to see him again. I'm excited to see how he's doing after his incident. I hope he's recovered well because he has a great opponent in Betkili.
Yeah, so Oleg just did Ukrainian Nationals, won it, and then won WAF Worlds, left hand, 80 kilogram, 2021. So he seems, I mean, there's no way he's back to his form before the accident, but I mean, you can't just walk into WAF without being prepared. So I think we're going to see a pretty good Oleg. Again, there's a huge question mark on this match because I just don't know how recovered Oleg is.
He must be pretty recovered to some degree because 80 kilo class has to be one of the deepest, strongest classes in WAF.
Yeah, fair.
So if he won that, we know that he's at least in some form. Maybe he's not in the form where he should be challenging Devin. That's who he was calling out Devin prior to his accident. I don't think he's quite at that point, but I do think he has to be a heavy favorite here. That being said, Betkili, he won the class under, is that correct? 75 kilo?
Yeah. I think he got second 2019, and then 2021. Let me see here. I'm going to I'm trying to pull up.
While you're pulling that up, the other interesting thing
results
about Betkili and Oleg is they did some after pulling. And again, it's after pulling, so we don't have that much data on it. But we still have a little bit of data in after pulling. And Betkili was able to get in his spot and really make Oleg work and pin him. So it's really interesting to see someone even close to his weight class after pulling or in a tournament, regardless, giving him a fit, because Oleg has been so dominant around that weight for a long time.
Yeah, so I have the 2019 WAF results here. He got second in the 80 kilogram left category in 2019.
Who beat him there?
Alazan Muratov from Kazakhstan.
Okay, Muratov, okay.
And then I have the 2021 results PDF here, and I'm searching his name and I don't see it. So I don't know if he didn't pull.
Maybe if he didn't pull, okay.
Yeah, because it must not be. I'm doing his first and last name and I don't see it anywhere. So who knows? But yeah, this is gonna be, I just love seeing Oleg back. It's so interesting with his gift on his left arm. Just to see how far he can go with that. What are your thoughts? Do you have a call here?
I will never bet against someone left-handed that's pulling Oleg. I will never bet on that person. I'm always taking Oleg.
Yeah,
10
I think
times out of 10.
Simple enough.
If it's at least within a similar weight category.
Yeah.
You know, of course, if you say Levon, Oleg, well, you know, I'm going to take Levon, but yeah. So I have to go Oleg here. I think Betkili's going to make it interesting. I think a lot of people are overlooking Betkili based off of some prediction videos I've watched. But yeah, I'm gonna go Oleg Zoke. I'm gonna go 3-0.
Fair. Had the same call, so done. All right, next on the list. Let's see.
I see some people talking in the live chat, guys. I'm not going to be focusing too much on that until after the prediction, and then I'll be happy to answer any questions afterwards. Just wanted to give everyone an update. So the next match we have is Arif versus Hermes.
Yeah.
So Arif, you have the back-to-back WAF reigning super heavyweight champion on the right arm. And then, of course, he's facing Hermes Gasparini, which has proven that he is an elite arm wrestler for a long time. He's been giving worse to people like Michael Todd for a long time. He just beat Gennady at the King of the Table 2 event in pretty dominating fashion. He did pull Kredecha, who was able to beat him. That just tells us how good Kredecha is. I don't think it takes away from Hermes. A lot of times when you have two top rollers, it can look really dominant one way or the other, even though it might have been really close. Because as soon as a top roller, their wrist is here, most of us aren't gonna get into our arm. We're just gonna lose from that point. So, I think we have two really good athletes.
Right.
Arif has proven himself in WAF. We haven't seen him do too much out of WAF. And Hermes hasn't pulled WAF in a while. Of course, he has won Zloty Tour. I don't think Arif's competed in a Zloty yet. And he's done a lot of super matches, and I don't think Arif has done many super matches either. So
I think you covered it. Something to note is that Arif can pull without his hand. And he's actually beaten Levon back in 2015 in WAF. So a pretty short list of people, but that was 2015 Levon. I don't even know if that's worth mentioning.
If you have a win on Levon from 2006 when Levon was a kid, you should still talk about it. It's still a win on Levon.
I think that's fair. Arif's no joke. And that's that. I was gonna say this is gonna be no problem. Hermes gonna win, but the fact that Arif can still fight without his hand, I think gives him a shot. You know, I think that's what I wanted to see, more of a fight from
Gennady.
Gennady, yeah, sorry. I want to see some flop pressing like we saw with Gennady versus Tim. Because if you remember Gennady versus Tim was winning until Gennady started flop pressing, and it totally changed the match around. So can Arif do that? I don't think he's going to win the hand battle, but he might be able to overpower Hermes. At least I think that's probably his best lane. But it's your card.
Arif might even be able to keep the wrists flat.
Yeah.
Like Arif might have enough because he's such a big guy. He's the much heavier guy, and he's obviously a fantastic puller. He might have enough here to keep Hermes' wrist flat and flat. If he can pull without his wrist, he can pull flat. I think he might have enough side pressure to put Hermes in a really uncomfortable situation. Is it possible Hermes is going to be too much and dominate him and beat him 3-0? Of course.
Yeah.
But I think it's very possible that the opposite happens as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I can't get over this card. It's gonna, like, if Arif beats Hermes and some of these other upsets happen, it's going to throw the entire ecosystem of arm wrestling into a spiral.
It is,
because like now it's going to be Arif versus Kurdecha. What happens there? And it's just going to be wild. So what a fun card. So who's your final call on this one?
We have seen a lot of really big upsets that over the last 12 months in arm wrestling. It's been really crazy. You have guys that are not even considered for the top 8 beating top 8 athletes out of nowhere. It's just like, what is going on? So if Arif beats Hermes and now Hermes is a top 8 athlete, Derek beat Tim, Tim is a top 8 athlete. Like, what do you do now?
I know
it makes it really interesting because now you don't really have the true top 8, and I think it puts Igor in a weird situation. I think if Arif wins this match, Igor has to reach out to Arif and at least give him some sort of potential entry into the top 8.
But it's gonna have to be for the next one though, right?
Yes,
because they're in the middle of the 2021 right,
unless someone else gets arrested or something, right?
God, please no.
But I think if Arif even makes it a good match, he deserves an entry into the top 8 if that's something that he wants. I'd really like to see Arif pull Zloty to see how he stands with those guys. I'm gonna go Arif 3-2.
Ooh, super interesting. Okay, so
but I think Arif winning might be the biggest upset on the card.
Yeah, well, that could be your ticket to winning the challenge because I think maybe everyone had Hermes winning this. So
as they should.
Right. So this could be your ticket. If you get this right, you'll have a massive advantage on the bracket. All right, locked in. Arif 3-2. Next up, so we're doing this in the order of
I just wanted to touch real quick. Arif and Hermes were on an interview with Engen, and Engen someone asked them who would win in a match, Sanders or Hutchings. And they were like, oh, Sanders will top roll Hutchings very easily. Like Sanders crushes him. And I was like, really? That's a really, really interesting opinion from these guys. So that means if I beat Sanders in their head, I should kill Todd Hutchings, which is, I think is way off.
But since when does top rolling Todd Hutchings mean you win? Look at Matt Mask. Matt Mask got thrown across the table with Todd without his hand.
Yep.
So I don't know if I agree with that, but I mean,
I just thought that was an interesting piece of information that they decided, and I wanted to share that.
Yeah, that is interesting. Not sure I agree with it, but
I definitely don't agree with it. But I think that they're a lot better arm wrestlers than we are. So maybe they have some information we don't have. I don't know.
Well, then I am. I wouldn't sell yourself short.
Well, I'm not there yet. Not yet.
Could be after this weekend.
We have 2 more matches.
Yes.
The next match we're going to talk about, of course, is Michael Todd and Gennady.
Yeah.
So I'm interested. What do you think about this match?
Oh, Gennady, please tell me you got your press back. Not that will be enough, but I just want him to have more of a fighting chance. I mean, the way Hermes beat him, I think shows a huge vulnerability in Gennady's game right now. Because I mean, Michael Todd's riser and pronation are right up there with Hermes. So I think it's going to have to be a press. I think we're going to have to see kind of a repeat of Jerry versus Michael Todd, where Gennady dives in, commits his shoulder 100%. You can't leave anything on the table against Michael Todd.
No.
And just sits there and tries to burn Michael Todd out because I don't think he's going to win the hand game. He's not going to be able to get inside. He's not, I think his press is his only chance. But I heard that he was injured and couldn't do that against Hermes. I mean, rumors start swirling after every match, but I heard he was nursing an injury and couldn't commit like he wanted to against Hermes.
Yeah.
Do you know if that's true? Have you heard that?
I heard that, and I'm not too sure. The only injury that I know to be the case is he has an injury in his wrist, and that's why his wrist has been so vulnerable. Okay. I was talking to Levon when I was in Dubai about Hermes versus Gennady and his opinions. I thought he might be someone who could give a really insightful opinion, and he actually told me as much as he wants Gennady to win, he thought Hermes would win because Gennady's wrist is so vulnerable right now. And when you're pulling someone like Michael Todd, your vulnerable wrist is going to be exposed. Now, I think now that we know that, we would have expected in his last match for him to dive in like he always does. He's always really angry. He's diving in. He's finding every angle and every pressure that he can and just going hard at it. We didn't see that in the last match. We didn't see him fire up like we did in the past. So I think like most people, I was really disappointed in not seeing him fire up. And I think if he doesn't bring that fire and he doesn't press like you were just saying, I think he's going to get crushed 3-0.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of like a Rob Vision and those types. Some people, they just need to get wild at the table and it helps them. Matt Mask is another example. I remember Mask saying he envisions the other person like pushing his kids, like just really gets the adrenaline going. And some people need that. I mean, the difference in power is huge. You also have people, like John Berzink, who stay more stoic. But yeah, I think Gennady, I don't know what it's going to take to get him fired up. Hopefully he just is fired up because he took such a big loss, public loss to Hermes there. But
let's not forget though, Michael is also coming off a really big loss. Devin didn't just beat him, but completely dominated him. Like it was not even a good match.
Yeah.
Maybe round 1 was kind of an okay match, but after that, I mean, Devin just dominated Michael, and Michael said, "Please don't hurt me," and they switched the left arm. Like typically out of Michael, we're going to see someone fired up too, and he didn't bring that to the last match either. So both guys are coming off of a loss. I think that they both have a lot to prove that they are still top athletes, because whoever doesn't win this match, I think is going to start to get really overlooked.
Yeah. I mean, I've been following Michael's YouTube, and he's motivated. He's calling himself, Monster 2.0. He's got some new training strategies. So I think we're going to see maybe the best Monster, but he did say that in his last match against Devin that he was. He the
always
best
says
form
that,
ever.
right? So it's fair. It's hard to take what Michael says like at face value, because he's always the best version of himself.
Right. You got to build that hype a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a great match. I think your point about both of them coming off a big, high profile loss makes this very interesting. What's the call chance?
3-0 Michael Todd.
Ooh, another shutout, Michael Todd.
I don't think that Gennady is going to get fired up, and even if he does, I don't think that he's going to be capable of pressing in the same facet that Jerry was able to press.
Right.
Jerry is the best flop presser of all time. I don't think anyone would debate me on that, and I don't think Gennady is going to be able to get close enough to it to put Michael in a bad position. Michael's also worked on some things since that match and doesn't seem to be as susceptible to a flop press anymore.
Yeah, and even with Jerry being the best in the world, that they still had wars. I mean, one of their matches was like 7 minutes at WAL. So even the best flop presser in the world struggled with Michael Todd. So yeah, I think that's fair. But I just want to see a good match from both of them. Both of them fired up.
I do too. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, in the books, MMT 3-0, and I think we got one more match. If I'm not mistaken.
It's the last match.
Yeah,
John Berzink versus Zoliev.
Oh God,
Kadzi Zoliev.
Love it. So they met in 2015, I believe, right?
Yep. The last time they pulled, I think, was 2015.
Yep. And John
Russian
swept it.
Was it Russian A1s? I think.
God, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, and John dominated him.
Yeah. Outside every round. I think it was in the straps each time, if I remember, though.
Yeah, and I think they even hooked once. And
oh, really? Didn't matter.
It was like, oh, never mind. And then John just went right through him.
Right. So
clearly John has always had Zoliev's number, but a few things have changed since then. Zoliev is bigger and stronger than he was then, and John is still coming off of a retirement.
Yeah. Zoliev hasn't stopped training, right?
No, he hasn't. At this point, John, you might say, has had enough time to recoup. His first match, of course, back after the 5 years was against me in July 31st of last year. So he's had a good 6-7 months. And then I think he pulled a couple months before that as well. So he's probably coming up on 10 months back into it. He probably has enough time back in to kind of be at where he would have been at had he not stopped. based off of his age and what he's going to be capable of doing now.
Yeah.
I think that John is a notch down from where he was in 2015.
Really? Just on strength, explosiveness, everything?
In general, it seems
Just
like
general,
the biggest thing is his wrist seems to be a bit more vulnerable.
Okay.
It's still John, so he's still going to be technically flawless arm wrestling. But I think Zoliev is gone up a notch.
Right. So the question is, how big was that gap in 2015? Is it closable in this amount of time?
Yes. Now, I personally don't know if Zoliev is better than Dmitry Kachan. A lot of people don't know about Dmitry Kachan. He took second in Europeans to Krasi. This is a year where I'm pretty sure Krasi beat Hutchings. No. Who did Krasi pin some super elite the same year? Oh, Levon. Krasi beat Levon that same year. And Dmitry made Krasi work. Like, it was not an easy match. Yeah. So Dmitry is someone who gets overlooked a little bit, I think. And I am not 100% confident that Zoliev would beat Dmitry. Maybe he would, but I'm not confident in it. So
Dmitry did well against John, though. He made John work, took his hand a little bit. Yeah.
Made John work, but he still lost 3-0.
That's true. That is true. So, and that was still early in John's comeback.
It was. That was in October.
Yeah.
October 9th, I believe, is the date on that. So he's had time since then to recover and to get his arm feeling less rusty and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So I have to go with John, but I don't think that this might be the closest match on the card.
Yeah. Outside, inside, where do you think it's going to go?
So I think that Zoliev is going to top roll. John's wrist is going to get compromised. John's going to get into the straps. And the straps, I think Zoliev's going to try to top roll. John is going to be able to contain it a bit more and just drive sideways. Maybe Zoliev gets around or two, but I still think that John's going to pull the win here. Okay. Zoliev, of course, he also just took third, I believe, in the most recent WAF because in a match, something happened. It looked like his elbow might have got injured or something.
Yeah.
So I think that he might have stopped once he felt something because he knew he had this match coming up. I'm not sure how serious it was or not, but I have to go with a GOAT. I'm not going to bet against the GOAT. I even bet that he would take a round off of Devin. I was wrong, but I just after pulling him, after having experience pulling him, it's going to be really difficult for me to bet against him. So I'm going to go 3-1.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And we just got some new data a couple of days ago. I don't know if you saw it. Devin went live down in Austin, Texas at and he pulled Dmitry there. Yeah, Dmitry showed up and
looks insane.
Devin jumped. Yeah, well, Devin held him, if I recall. Yeah, exactly.
Easily. So Devin looks insane.
Right. Insane. But if Devin held Dmitry that easy and John borderline pinned Devin, I feel like John will be able to top roll Zoliev. I think it's going to be more like 2015 than people think. I don't think John's falling off that much.
Even if John isn't able to top roll him, we saw John just kind of drive straight sideways and ditch his wrist a little bit against Devin in round 1 and nearly pin Devin. If he is nearly pinning Devin Lorette, who just was holding John's last opponent easily, then we know that John is at least strong enough to pin Zoliev like that. In my opinion,
exactly.
Zoliev and Devin there's a big gap.
Yeah, right. And so so I think that's probably the best data we have. And so you got to go with John here. You just do. What'd you say the score
3-1?
Was it 3-1? Okay, you think he's
I'm hoping for 3-0 though. Yeah, I'm hoping 3-0 John. A little bit for a selfish reason, because then I can say, yeah, well, I got a pin on John.
That's right.
Is it the same fair. John? No, of course not.
But there's that. It's
just a little bit of a meme.
That's funny. All right, I think that's the whole card, right? Let's just go over everything one more time. We got Angie, Breida, FA, yourself, Tobias, Fia, Yusuf, Ron, Herman, Prudnick, Hutchings, Oleg, Arif, MMT, Monster Michael Todd, and John. Does that all sound right?
That all sounds right. I'm interested to see how does that compare to your card? What matches are we different on?
let me pull out my card here. So, all right. So once again, it's armwrestlingforums.com. Go to the general section. I just closed your answers here.
And guys, if you want a link to armwrestlingforums.com, it's in the bio right now. You just hit show more, arm wrestling forum plus rankings. It's right here. Just click the link. You can create an account. You can fill out one of these prediction cards, and the winner is going to get sent some arm wrestling forum swag. So definitely check that out. Also, if you haven't got the pay-per-view app.coresports.tv, the link is also in my description here. Make sure you buy it. It's an insane card. We've talked about it. We've covered every match. Everyone's talked about it. You're getting a ton of value. Go buy it. Go support arm wrestling. But anyways, Ryan, let's see how our cards compare.
So I just looked. I think our only difference is I have Hermes over Arif.
Really? You picked Tobias as well?
Let me see here. No, I didn't. Sorry. That's another one. Yep. Sorry.
So we just have two matches different then.
Yep. We have two matches. So I have Morozov there and I have Hermes there. So
okay.
Like I said, you're one of the only people to choose Arif over Hermes. So that's your ticket to win this competition right there.
It is. And listen, I think that if I was betting, or if you were betting and you asked me, Chance, who should I bet on? I think I would tell you Hermes. I just have a gut feeling that Arif is going to show what level he's capable of. And I think Hermes might be a little bit overrated right now. They have him ranked at 8th in the world. I think that might be a little high. It might be a little low. It's hard to know because he hasn't pulled everyone. But I think that Morozov might be able to beat him. And I think that Arif might be able to beat him.
Yep.
I think Prudnick might be able to beat him. And these are all people that are ranked below him or not ranked at all.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Prudnick's ranking.
Maybe.
I think there was a lot of bias. Once Hermes beat Matt Mask at the first East vs. West, all of a sudden his name was thrown around as like one of the best in the world. Got to get him on the table with Levon. So I think he's kind of settling into a better spot to where he should be in terms of ranking and who he should be going against. Not to say he won't get up there. He's young and getting better. I think he's 27. But I do think people got a little over their skis after the Matt Mask win.
And Matt Mask is a fantastic athlete, but we're not talking about a top 15 guy. Like Hermes beat Matt Mask, who's fantastic, but he is not a top 15 arm wrestler in the world. I don't think anyone would have him on their list. I don't even think Matt would have himself on the top 15 in the world list. And he beat Matt 3-1.
Yep.
Correct. Yeah. So he beat Matt 3-1 after losing to Matt. So really, they shouldn't be too far from each other. It seems like Hermes progressed and Matt has taken a little bit of a break. So now they might be far. But at that point in time, to say going from Matt to Levon, it's a little bit ludicrous to me. So I think with this Arif match, we'll be able to get a lot of data because, again, Arif is the WAF champion. So we can see how a WAF champion compares to one of the top super match pullers.
Yeah, right, and then we can draw lines to Matt, et cetera. And Matt actually has a match coming up with Tim Bresnan, which will be interesting.
He does. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm really interested in that. I think I would pick Matt to win.
Yeah, well, I heard he's now being able to focus more on arm wrestling, whereas he was working way too much and couldn't really train too often. So
did you see the picture on Facebook he posted of his forearms?
He's flexing. No, let me guess, they're like ridiculously vascular.
Oh, yes, but they just look massive. Of course, Matt always looks vascular and massive, but Matt looks in form right now. And
I mean, I'm super biased. I train with Tim here in Connecticut. So we are going to look at the tape. We are going to analyze every piece. Actually, a little spoiler here. Yesterday, Tim and I filmed a video for Tim's brand new YouTube channel. We're getting him online.
Okay.
So I'm going to help him set that up. No, we just filmed it. I haven't edited it and uploaded it. So
you have the link to his channel though? Is that set up yet?
Not yet. Okay. So he's brand new and he's new to the YouTube game, doesn't know quite how it works. So I'm helping him get everything set up. But we do have our first video filmed. We have the MP4 and we're going to upload that. So keep an eye out for that. Tim's motivated. He is not disheartened after that loss to Derek. He's just hungry, which I love to see because Tim is so fun to watch.
Yeah, it looked like Tim might have come in a little overconfident against Derek.
If you remember their last match,
Tim crushed him 5-0 in their last match.
Yeah.
So Derek has been super hungry since then. And then we saw Tim, who hasn't, unfortunately, because of COVID restrictions and whatnot, he hasn't been able to. He was supposed to pull Prudnick. He hasn't been able to get that match happening. I think it got canceled twice. So it seemed like maybe Tim started to relax a little bit, and he's like, I crushed Derek last time. I'm going to crush him this time. Give me a real match. And I think that bit him in the butt there.
Yeah, I think that could very well be what happened. Because he said back in 2018, they could have done 100 matches and he would have won each time. But I also heard Derek wasn't fully ready for that match. So who really knows? But all I can tell you is Tim's hungry. He's going to train his butt off for this match. I think it's April 9th in Las Vegas. So, and Michael Todd's pulling Ryan Espy on the same card left-handed. So,
which I think is a very big mismatch.
Yes. Okay. So I'm not crazy. I'm like, what? If I thought of who Mike should pull left-handed, Espy isn't. No way. What the hell?
So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Michael Todd is improving left. I think he's very good, but I think it's just as big of a mismatch left-handed as if they pulled right-handed.
Yeah.
Like Michael would kill Ryan right, and Ryan I think is going to kill Michael left. And I like Michael, and I don't like Ryan. So my opinion should not be biased here.
Fair enough, man. But so exciting times in arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, do you know if any of those athletes are going to be pulling in the tournament afterwards?
Tim usually does. He's crazy like that. Like after the Derek match, he then went and did the supers in that tournament, and then also did the overalls and won it, and won it all against Alan Fisher, who actually looked really good.
Yeah, I was super surprised. Alan beat Oleg. Yeah, which Oleg has been beating Alan the last couple years. So for Alan at 75,000 years old to come in and take second to Tim Bresnan is pretty crazy.
I know, it's like he's getting better with age, man. Arm wrestling's a weird sport, isn't it?
It is. Alan looked really impressive there. I think don't overlook Alan Fisher right now.
Yeah. So were you saying who are they going to pull? Like Tim, Michael Todd, SP, they're going to pull the tournament after your matches on April 9th. I don't know. Is there a tournament or is it just a super match?
Yeah, it is. It is a tournament in Vegas.
Okay.
I was originally supposed to pull Tim. I'm not sure if you knew about that. You probably
didn't know that.
Okay. So I was originally supposed to pull Tim.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah. But I kind of got two offers at the same time, and the offer to pull Todd Hutchings was just better. As a full-time arm wrestler, I kind of have to pick my matches, the ones that are going to make the most sense and pay me the best. And nothing against Tim or Todd. It just was that.
Yeah, really, I mean, you guys will cross paths eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah, we will. And I'm really happy to see Matt back in action because we haven't seen too much from Matt recently.
I know he's a good dude. So you can probably expect him to pull that tournament. I don't know about SB. I hope he does. I feel like we haven't seen much from SB. I mean, all of Canada's been locked down so hard.
So SB did Arm Wars in October. He pulled Kredecha both arms. Kredecha injured him, I think, in round 2. Yeah. In the right hand, and then he withdrew. So he lost 2-0 right, and I think he lost 6-0 left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot. Okay, so he's out of commission on right. But yeah, we'll see, man. But good opportunity for Michael Todd.
It is, and
make a huge jump in the rankings.
But he also has a match with Robbie Topi coming up on his own super match card.
Oh, sweet! Yeah, he's doing the pay-per-view YouTube thing, right? At his Monster Factory
YouTube Monster Factory thing. Paul Lynn is pulling Ron Beth there.
Sweet,
but I think beating Robbie Topi is kind of already a difficult task,
right?
And I think that Ryan Espy kills Robbie Topi, and I think Robbie Topi will probably beat Mike.
Which one's first?
Topi.
Topi's first. Is okay. So it's like March or something.
Yeah, I think it's like a few weeks apart.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, it's March 12th or March 19th.
Right. And so if Topi wins, I mean, you might as well cancel the FSB match, right?
Yeah, but I mean, just thinking crazy thoughts. But if Topi beats Michael and then Michael beats Ryan, it's like, what is going on?
No, don't even entertain that. There has to be some order in the arm wrestling world.
Yeah,
we can't just have total chaos.
And then I'm gonna have to move people around in rankings. Yeah, and everyone's gonna be mad. They got jumped.
Yeah, you're already pissed off the whole arm wrestling community. So
so what are
you gonna do? You can't win.
But anyways, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, hey man, I just want to say thank you so much for your time and taking part in this competition. It's super cool of you. This was really fun, man. It's gonna make watching the event way more interesting because you have a little skin in the game, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I already had a little bit of skin in the game,
Oh yeah,
but now I
I
have
was
a little
speaking.
bit more, right?
Fair
Yeah,
enough. Yeah,
yeah.
right.
Now are you going to be watching? I'm assuming you're watching it. Do you have a watch party going on, or?
Yeah. So if anyone listening is in the Boston area, where I'm gonna head. I live in Connecticut now, but I'm originally from Boston, playing with Josh Grant and Arsenal of Arms up there. So he's putting on a watch party, and it's like my favorite thing to do, man. You just eat food, arm wrestle, and watch. In this case, the most legendary card of all time. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn my phone off Saturday. Don't at me. Don't do anything. I'm gonna be just up to my head in arm wrestling. So I'm pumped, man. It's gonna be an absolute blast.
Yeah, if I wasn't on the card, I would be having a huge watch party and watching it with
Yeah.
everyone that I could. Whether I'm in Sweden or Florida,
Yeah.
it'd be amazing. I'm kind of disappointed I don't get to experience the watch party part of it because it's like the
I
Super
know.
Bowl of arm wrestling.
It really is, man.
And I mean, but I get to be part of it, which is even cooler, right? But it's definitely an awesome card. Again, if you haven't bought it yet, app.coresports.tv, go buy it. It's $12. I think you have to make an account first. Again, if you're not on arm wrestling forums either, make sure you go check out armwrestlingforums.com. Both links are in my description.
Yeah, and one of these days, Chance, we got to get you up to Connecticut. Come hang with the team. We got some major heavyweights here. We got Nick Stone, Tim Bresnan. We got Ron Klemba. So please swing by for a practice. You got a place to stay.
Yeah, I
So if you're
appreciate
ever in the
that.
area, please let me know.
I definitely need and want to make it up there.
Yeah.
Maybe after my match against Todd Hutchings, April 2nd, between
Yep.
April 2nd and June 4th, because that's when I
Okay.
pull Brendan. Maybe
Yep.
we can swing up and get a big practice going and get some content.
Love it. Hell yeah, man. Sweet. So
Awesome.
yeah, that's it. Submitted. We're in. Thank you so much for your time,
Of
Chance.
course, thank you. I'm going to stay and do a Q&A, and if anyone has any questions, if you want to stay, you're welcome to stay, or if not, you can hop off. But thank you for your time.
Oh well, yeah, I won't eat up any more of your time. But yeah, thanks guys, and I'll see you around.
Of course, thanks, man. So, guys, I've been kind of looking at the chat over here on the side. I know a lot of people were like, Chance, why aren't you reading the chat? But like, I wanted to just cover the rankings. Of course, we have Ryan on here. I don't want to take up all of Ryan's time. We had a lot to talk about. There's 16, 17, 15, something. I'm losing track, but there's a lot of matches that we had to cover. So, it won't let me. Oh, there it is. It's letting me scroll up. So, I'm not going to scroll all the way up, but I just wanted to say I got 2 super chats, so thank you. If either of you are here still, Uncle John, armwrestlingforums.com, suckers. So definitely check out Arm Wrestling Forums. Uncle John's on there. I'm on there as well. And then Derek gave me a super chat and said, "This is for Ryan. Chance ruined my life." So sorry, Derek. Sorry. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask away. I'm happy to answer any questions. If you miss who I picked, that's going to be posted on Arm Wrestling Forums, or you can watch back in the video or ask me a question about it. I might forget exactly the numbers and whatnot that I picked, but yeah, anyways, let's see. Any questions? Excellent chat. Who's in here? Fox 8 Ball, what's up, buddy? Thanks for keeping it down while I'm on here talking. Levon Gasparini, what's up? Clerks 93, good to see you. Timmy Turner, good to see you, buddy. Man, why won't it let me? What's going on? My scrolling is all busted. Good luck, Chance. Thanks, Benjamin, for that. Benjamin Mack. Coach Ray the Terrible. What's up, buddy? I think I saw Levon Gasparini agreed with me on every match. That's crazy. I didn't know Levon Gasparini, you could agree with me on so much. And Timmy Turner, I think I saw you agreeing with me too, which I'm also pretty surprised about. It was A1 okay in 2015. And then, okay, you also mentioned that Zoliev got injured when he pulled Playman. That might be a factor. Okay. Yeah, we touched on that. What else was Thomas Miles? Thank you for hanging out. Hope John wins. I agree. And I don't see too many questions. Oh, Benjamin Mack. How much do you weigh? I weigh like 140, 141 kilos. I think that's like 310, 312, something like that. Right around there. What's your working weight for easy curls or single dumbbell? I don't even know. I'd have to check my notes. I don't have it tracked in my head because I don't do a lot of single arm dumbbell curls or easy curls. Usually, if I'm going to do curls, it's preacher, but I haven't been doing that. It's not part of my new program. So I'm not too sure, Benjamin Mack, unfortunately. So sorry about that. Coach Ray, hey. What's up, Coach Ray the Terrible? Do you have any plans in mind for how you're going to pull Zilla? Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's really much of a mystery. I'm going to hit and try to take Todd Hutchings' hand. I think even most people that think I'm going to get killed understand I'm probably going to take his hand. And then from there, my biggest goal is keeping Todd from getting jammed up and getting into his like hook. His hook right here without his hand when he's jammed is really strong. But if I can keep his hand a little outside of his shoulder, this is when he's in trouble. So I'm going to try to take his hand, but the biggest thing is keeping his hand outside of his shoulder. If I can do that, I think that I have a lane where I can win. But I think that that's probably pretty obvious information for most people. I think Morozov beats Tobias and Sanders. Okay. Yeah, I can't blame you for those picks. They're definitely the favorites. Levon, I really hope, buddy, that you staked on him. And if you haven't, he still has about $75, $80 available. Go close his block out, please, so I can close another block. If you're confident in him, bet on him. Pretty easy. Thought I heard somewhere that Tobias' left is stronger than his right. Yes, that's true, Clerks. His left is better than his right. He took third and Zlotty right-handed and second left-handed, I believe. You pick Sprung to beat Morozov. Oh, interesting, Timmy Turner. That's probably one of the picks that I did that the least amount of people would agree with. Maybe the pick of myself would be the other one. And then Arif beating Hermes. Those are kind of the three picks where most people might differ. Are you afraid Hutchings is going to mess up your hair when he'll rub your head? No. Why would I care? If Todd Hutchings beats me 6-0 as well, then he can ruffle my hair all he wants. Like he's the man, right? You and Todd are about the same height too, right? I don't know how tall Todd Hutchings is. Do you remember? I didn't get to really stand around him at the last event because he showed up as his match was being announced. He won, he got paid, and then he left. So I didn't get to see him or talk to him really at all. I'm 6 foot tall, so if you can Google how tall he is, maybe it's on the WAL page. Yeah, probably WAL has it. Yeah. What's your top 2 pulley exercises? I really like a smaller handle pulley, not such a fat pulley, because no one's hand is making me grab like this. So I don't really see as much of a benefit training here as here. So I really like this angle here, kind of from an upper angle. And then I like with a belt around my hand, not around my wrist or around my knuckle, but around my hand. Really heavy work like this or like this or like this. Those would probably be my 2 favorite. He's 5'10", 5'11". Okay, so I'm like an inch or 2 taller than him then. It's not really much of a difference. Chance versus Lockley after Toddzilla. If I lose to Todd Hutchings 6-0, then I think it's a good match. If I am to beat Todd Hutchings, then I don't think it's a good match. I keep saying 6-0. I'm pretty sure we're pulling best of 5. So maybe we'll pull all 5 rounds regardless. I guess I'd be fine with that if Todd wanted to do that. But if he beats me and dominates me in the fashion that he dominated Lachlan, then yeah. But if I make it closer, if I get a couple wins, or especially if I win the match completely 3-0 or 5-0 or whatever, then I don't think we should pull necessarily. I think you're too big for Todd right now. I don't know if anyone is too big for Todd Hutchings. Like he was just hooking Dave Chafee. It's practice and Dave wasn't fresh, but I don't think that matters. I don't think I know that I couldn't hook Dave Chafee in the same form that he was in. I might have find a different angle, but not like that. Boosted Z06, what's up? Goat. Yes, the goat will be pulling. All right, guys, I think I'm going to hop off. I've been on here for quite a while. Thank you all for hanging out. Make sure you drop a thumbs up if you haven't already. We got 32 thumbs up, 40 people. If you're on your phone, you got to just close out a live chat, hit thumbs up. You can pull the live chat back up. If you haven't, buy the pay-per-view, app.coresports.tv, create an account. It's $12 after you create an account. It's very easy. Also, if you're not on armwrestlingforums.com, make sure you go over to armwrestlingforums.com. You can fill out your prediction card. Whoever gets the most matches right is going to get sent some arm wrestling forums swag, so probably some t-shirts, something like that. And then also, if you're interested in checking out all my links, check out my link tree. You can find my link to my Instagram, my Facebook, my official Facebook account. You can also find my State Kings anytime I'm open on there. And then I also did start a Patreon account a few days ago. So I don't have too much content on there right now, but if you want to support, that's a great way to do it. I appreciate everyone for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And I will hang out with you guys later. I will try to go live in Turkey. I think I'm going to land around 4 p.m. Turkish time, which is like 2 p.m. Swedish time. So I guess that makes it like 10 a.m. Eastern. So I might go live once I get into the hotel settled. I don't know what all the athletes are doing, so don't rely on it. But if I can, I will go live. Maybe I'll go live with some athletes. We'll see what happens. But anyways, thanks again for hanging out. And yeah,